Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahabushai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off with the precept those that are in the know are very familiar with by now. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads, and that mark, or that charagma, is, of course, the markofthebeast, which is the implantable C-hip, and that he that causeth all is the elite rulers of the planet right now, who are of the nation of Esau Edom, or the so-called white man, such as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, you name it. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And when the charagma, the C-hip, IMPLANT, is mandatorily implemented, you won't be able to do anything in society without it. You'll be stuck on that digital grid. You won't be able to buy or sell, get a job, travel abroad, access the internet, anything. And it's going to get so bad to where those that refuse to receive that charagma are going to be faced with being put to death. And in this video, I'll be going into a couple of articles to show that with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the rollout and mandatory implementation of that C-hip. Because really, since this C019 situation from 2019 to 2021, what have you seen a push for? A digital cashless society, contactless payments, et cetera, et cetera. But the first bit of information I'll be going to is on thestreet.com, and the title reads, "You'll soon need to get your fingerprints taken when entering Europe. After years of delays, the EU's entry-exit system is set to start in October 2024. And of course, your fingerprints and your eye scan and facial recognition are all a part of your biometrics, your personal, identification to let, whatever institute or system you're trying to access authenticate that you are truly yourself. Over the last 10 years, the countries making up the European Union have been working to revamp how travelers outside of Europe pass through its borders. For those whose passports do not require them to obtain a tourist visa, the European Travel Information and Authorization System, ETIAS, is meant to serve as a quick online application that screens the travelers for security for a nominal fee of €7 every 3 years. The U.S. had its own electronic system for travel authorization, ESTA, for visitors from the EU and other visa-exempt countries in place since 2008. But between the pestilence and regular delays rolling out a software that would work across 27 borders, the implementation of the ETIAS has been scaled back numerous times over the last decade. A part of the ETIAS, the EU's entry-exit system, EES, is a fingerprint system meant to replace passport stamps and track how much time one has spent in the EU digitally. Your biometrics, which, what else have we seen since 2019 to 2021? Amazon One, for example, which you can see at Whole Foods, where it takes a scan of your palm print, might as well be your fingerprint, so you can do what? Buy and sell. And over in the EU, they're working on rolling out a system that would scan your fingerprints to authenticate, that you are who you are when you're traveling with your passport, and show how much time you've been spending in the EU. So going back to what? That they may neither buy nor sell, save he that had that charagma in him. They're setting up the infrastructure to perfectly work with the CHIP when they implement it. So when you have it in you, what? All you got to do is scan. No need for a passport, no need for a credit card, no need for physical currency, damn sure. No need for a VAXX, identification slip, anything like that. Everything is going to be on that CHIP. And what? If you have done something to be deemed, a threat to the government or anything like that, they can simply, deny your access to things, which rolls into that social credit score system, which they're also planning on rolling out and combining with that CHIP. Just look at China, for example, to see how that's going to work. Like I just said, you say anything against the government, which is the case in China, you make purchases deemed suspicious by the government, and they'll lower your social credit score so you won't be able to access certain facilities, get certain jobs, rent an apartment, or buy or sell. But now I'm going to jump through most of these articles. I'm going to jump around to get to the main points of them. I'll read these last few paragraphs. Name, type of travel document, biometric data, and the date and place of entry and exit. For now, travelers passing through EU airports from October 6th onwards will need to have their fingerprints and facial data registered to track how long they have been in the EU, even if, according to some skeptics, another pushback may not be entirely implausible given how much technology needs to be installed at airports across Europe in the 9 months before the announced date, and how such a big change will slow down airports that are already dealing with overcrowding amid a rush of post-pestilence travelers. And hey, they're talking about October 2024, and you're seeing all these later dates get thrown out. But remember, as it says in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau, Edom, more specifically the elites, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. The elites see the writing on the wall. They see Israel waking up, and they see the prophets out on the highways and byways preaching this word, and these prophecies coming to their fulfillment. So they know that they have but a short time to fulfill their enterprise, their NW0, their GREATRESET. So they're having to speed up, all their agendas to try to fulfill it. And what have we been hearing a lot about lately as well? Cyber attacks. You just had that movie that came out, Leave the World Behind, which dealt with a major cyber attack, knocking the systems down. So that would be one of the perfect black swans to reset the system and fast track everything. The entire grid goes down, but we were able to bring it back. But in order to access this system, we need to identify who you are because we lost all your records. So get this CHIP in you to prove that you're a loyal citizen to the government and you have no involvement with an agency that caused this cyber attack. Hey, everything you read and see out here works in tandem with each other to bring about Esau Edom's ultimate goal. The software will also need to be installed at crossings from the United Kingdom after the country formally left the EU in 2020. The system will register the person's name, type of travel document, biometric data, fingerprints and captured facial images, and the date and place of entry and exit in full respect of fundamental rights and data protection, reads a description of the program on the European Union's Home Affairs websites. And already you've got different countries that have implemented biometric systems like this with fingerprints and, facial scans, talking about how their systems have been hacked and that, personal information has been taken and sold on these different black markets. So what would be a remedy to that? A C-HIP with all your personal information on you that can't so-called be hacked. But, with this last paragraph talking about what? Your personal information, travel documents, biometrics, that brings me to my next article on naturalnews.com titled Digital ID System Incoming, Nebraska Now Collecting Citizens' Digital Health Data, Identification, Biometrics. So we went from Europe to back to the United States of America. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that charagma. At the heads of these different governments all across the planet, they rub shoulders with the elites and are on board with the agenda. So, to their citizens, they're going to roll out these systems. Nebraska's recent decision to collect digital health data on residents has been met with criticism from experts worried about plans for digital IDs. The move, which is part of the newly formed State Health Information Technology HIT Board's remit, also encompassed centralizing patient health and medical records. But according to many critics, the move is a massive breach of privacy, with some voicing their concerns about the potential move toward a national digital ID, which is exactly what they're moving towards. Digital currencies, cashless society, digital IDs, your biometrics, all on that C-HIP. In 2020, the Nebraska legislature unanimously sanctioned the creation of a Health Information Technology HIT Board. The Nebraska legislature passed Legislative Bill 1183, the Population Health Information Act, which led the way for the creation of the HIT Board and designated the Nebraska Health Information Initiative as the state's health exchange. Remember, the HIT and this next organization they're about to talk about. In 2021, Nebraska passed Legislative Bill 411, which required universal participation, he calls it all, in the Sync Health, remember that, statewide information exchange. Nearly every facility in the state complied, except in cases where a facility did not have the digital or financial resources to connect to the statewide system and receive a waiver for a technological burden. Now, I'm going to jump down to a few paragraphs here. Critics worried about how quickly data was gathered. And remember, you had Sync Health and the HIT. The Nebraska government's decision to establish statewide information exchange via Sync Health and the associated data harvesting also sparked fears among privacy advocates. Listen closely. Observing the HIT board meetings further heightened these valid fears when it was revealed that partner company Sync Health was part of the CARIN Alliance, a global coalition advocating for digital ID and had affiliations, links with, and to big companies like Google and Microsoft. Point blank period, like I just said. At the tops of these different institutions out here, they're on board with the agenda to roll out this digital cashless society predicated upon that C-HIP with all your biometrics, banking, personal information on it. And we know who, started and used to be the head of Google, Kill Bates, which, before we go to my next article, let's go back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, and get that word charagma in the Strongs. Because with these last two articles, what has it been talking about? Your travel passport information, your biometrics, your health data, etc., etc. And that word charagma in the Strongs is G5480, which the first definition lets you know that it is a physical instrument. It's not a a spiritual mark. It's not an embargo on Christianity. It's not dealing with white women. It's not not worshiping the Sunday Sabbath, etc., etc. Because the MARKOFTHEBEAST is being implemented by a carnal man, Esau Edom, with no spirituality in him. So his mark would be a physical mark. As we get closer and closer to the end of things and this charagma being rolled out, and you people out there, speaking mainly to you Israelites that are following these other camps out here that don't say what the charagma is and dance around it, you're going to see that all along that they were false prophets and that the apostles and elders on down in GMS or Great Millstone, they had it right, that the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai was truly dealing with GMS. But as it says, a stamp, an imprinted mark, a physical implement. But let's go to the root word for charagma, which is charax, G5482, which what does it say in the root word etymology? From charasso, to sharpen to a point, akin to G1125, through the idea of scratching, and how did they get that syringe into your skin to put that charagma in you? They cut or scratch into you. Another clear example that this charagma is a physical implementation. But let's go to the root word for charax. G1125, grapho, which in the outline of biblical usage, it reads to write with reference to the contents of the writing, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. So what? Your identification, your personal documents, your biometrics, your banking information, health information, your travel passport, etc., etc. All this personal digital identification information on that charagma. Hey, everything perfectly lines up with the scriptures when the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is dealing with you. But like we just read in the paragraph of that last article, the HIT board and Sync Health, have links to companies like Google and Microsoft, which was so-called started and used to be owned by Kill Bates. This is from childrenshealthdefense.org. UN, United Nations, launches Gates-funded global digital ID program as experts warn of totalitarian nightmare. With support from the Kill and Melinda Bates Foundation, the United Nations this month launched its 50 in 5 campaign to promote and accelerate the development of a global digital public infrastructure. One critic called the campaign a totalitarian nightmare designed to onboard small countries with digital ID, digital wallets, buying and selling, digital lawmaking, digital voting, and more. With support from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United Nations this month launched an ambitious country-led campaign to promote and accelerate the development of a global digital public infrastructure, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, said its 50 in 5 campaign will spur the construction of an underlying network of components that includes digital payments, ID, and data exchange system, which will serve as a critical accelerator of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The goal of the campaign is for 50 countries to have designed, implemented, and scaled at least one component in a safe, inclusive, and interoperable manner in 5 years, the UNDP stated. Hey, devil coming down in great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, implementing and accelerating these programs quickly. They want to try to have everything done by what? Agenda 2030, which recently a clock came out showing that they have 7 years, something months, and 10 days, and however many seconds to implement all their goals for the GREATRESET. But Abaratazah, that isn't the case. But to me, hey, we ain't making it to 2030. Yahushua is going to make his second coming to take this devil out much sooner than that. Our salvation is nearer than when we believed, as it says in Romans chapter 13. That's it with this article. Now I'm going to go to my last article on LinkedIn.com. The possibility of AI C-hip implants in the human brain. Can we merge with machines? So what? You have the C-hip in the hand, the RFID/NFC C-hip implant, and what else we got? In the forehead, which of course by now you should know of Elon Musk's Neuralink, which this year is what finally gonna do those human trials with it. And then you've got other companies like Synchron, which is dealing with BCIs or brain computer interfaces, and another organization which, hey, ironically is named BlackRock Medical or something like that, but it has BlackRock in the title. With the advancement of algorithms, machine learning, and deep learning, AI has been a rapid evolution technology for the past several years. In the field of AI, however, a major technological advancement has made it possible to implant AI C-hips inside the human brain. Despite the fact that this technology may appear to belong in science fiction movies, there are already multiple research initiatives and organizations striving to create it. This article will investigate the possibility and consequences of implanting an AI C-hip in the human brain. A brain-implanted AI C-hip would essentially serve as a neural interface, linking the human brain to an external AI system. This technology could redefine how we communicate with machines and the external world by allowing us to speak with technology using just our thoughts. People would be able to engage with smart homes, self-driving cars, and other AI devices in a more intuitive and reliable manner if they had an AI C-hip. The treatment of neurological and psychiatric diseases is a potential use for the AI C-hips implanted in the brain. A patient with brain damage or Alzheimer's, for instance, could have cognitive function restored with an AI C-hip. In addition, people with disabilities such as paralysis could control prosthetic limbs and other supportive devices using AI C-hips. And that's one of the many ways, Esau Edom is going to, coax these people into accepting this technology. Look at the benefits to society. Payment transactions will be instant. You won't have to carry a wallet, a passport, or anything like that. And with these implants, the blind are able to see again. The deaf are able to hear. The paralyzed are able to walk. Back in Revelation chapter 13, I'm jump up to 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And what is an example of that? Those 2 atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during World War II. Fire coming down from the sky, and people, these different nations, bending the knee to Esau in America because they had never seen such a grand display of power before. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. And making fire come down from heaven or the sky, cars, airplanes, the internet, smartphones, and C-hip implants that allow those with health issues to be restored to being so-called normal again. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Hey, that the infrastructure, this system, this government that we're currently living under, the last leg of the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 2, those iron toes mixed with miry clay, the reincarnated Roman Empire, the NATO EU alliance that the U.S. is a part of, the so-called Western world that these different nations, follow after, as it's about to say, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And making an image to the beast is following after its political, financial, and governmental structure. So what? What's the standard? Wearing a business suit and a tie, using the US dollar, which is the world reserve currency right now, speaking so-called English, and what else? Kind of lost my train of thought. Speaking English, which what? If you want to be a pilot, you have to learn English, using the same medical system that this Edomite has set up, using these Latin terms, all that. And that beast that had the wound by a sword and did live, or those legs of iron, the ancient pagan Roman Empire, also under the Edomites, which, when Esau came back into power during the Renaissance or the rebirth, what did he rebirth into the world? That ancient Roman system. But back to that article. The treatment, I think we read, yeah, we already read that. Yeah, we'll keep reading. However, the technology also raises ethical and privacy problems. For instance, the consumption of the data collected by these AI CHIPs is a critical topic. This technology could be used to manipulate people's thoughts, emotions, and preferences in the absence of appropriate controls. To secure people's privacy and guarantee that the AI CHIP is only used for its intended objectives, it would be necessary to enact the appropriate legislation. And best believe Esau wants to get people with these implants to what? Control and manipulate their thoughts, to, keep them as good, obedient slaves, goyim, to his system. This man wants to be like the Most High. He has a God complex. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I'm going to read verses 3 to 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, the son of destruction, Esau Edom, and he has been revealed by the prophets out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this. Say 10 years ago, when you put in Esau Edom in Google Images, an image of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, or image not found may have came up. But now, since the prophets have been out, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS, have been out, diligently pushing this word in the winter, in the summer, in all the seasons. What? Go to Google Images now and put in Esau Edom, and images of so-called white people will come up. That man of sin, the son of perdition, truly has been revealed. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, shewing himself that he is the Most High. This devil having a God complex and trying to usurp the authority and ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. He began it in the Renaissance with iconoclasm, replacing those dark Negroid images of the Most High, his son, the angels and the Israelites, with images of so-called white people, Jesus Christ, Caesar Borgia. And then today he's got his technology, especially in his medical field, to help people walk again, help the deaf to hear or the blind to see, so he can say, look, the Bible was nothing more than a fairy tale book. The Messiah, allowed the blind to see and, the paralyzed to walk. But have you ever seen that in your life? No. Look at what we're able to do with technology. We're able to do what that fairy tale book only dreamed of. So in this godless society that Esau pushes, what? They would look at Esau as a god. They would look at him as the apex predator and follow after his ways. These different nations wandering after the beast and making that image to the beast. And another thing the Most High is able to do is what? control the thoughts and paths of men, because contrary to popular belief, there is no free will out here. The Most High has preordained everybody's path in life. Read Proverbs chapter 16, and then what? Job chapter 33 states that when the night before, when a person is asleep, that's when the Most High sealeth their instructions for what to do that next day. And what did they just talk about in this paragraph? That this technology could be used to manipulate people's thoughts, emotions, and preferences. When your phone think about it like this. In a lot of cases, when your phone goes through those updates, it's at night when it's when it's in the charger and it has an internet connection while you're sleeping. So it updates itself. So with those C-hips, what do you think Esau would like to do? When you're asleep, what? That's when they do those updates in there, when you're not conscious of it. So the next day, whatever Esau put in you, that's going to be manipulating your decisions. Who sitteth in the seat of the Most High, trying to shew himself as the Most High. But I'll read this last paragraph right here. Musk's, talking about Elon Musk's brain interface technology company is Neuralink. Simply described, it involves developing technology that could be implanted in a person's brain where it could record and perhaps stimulate brain activity. The technology has numerous near-term potential medical uses, such as the treatment of Parkinson's disease, despite Musk's tendency to emphasize its futuristic potential for combining human mind with AI. That's it, you get the point. So we've got what? Charagmas out there ready for the hand in the forehead. And what? They're talking about them having the ability to perform miracles so people can wonder after this technology and just willingly allow themselves to be locked in to this grid. But now let's get back to these precepts. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to read verses 1 to 3. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. You know, the men of the Lord, the prophets out there, reading the scriptures and watching the news and filtering the news through the scriptures to stand upon their watch and warn Israel of the times to come, but only the elect is going to get it. Verse 2, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, going out onto the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles online, that he may run that readeth it. When the elect hear the words of the prophets, they change their lives to conform to the ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, so that they can be protected from these calamities to come of Jacob's trouble, ultimately that hour of temptation, whether they're going to take the C-hip or not. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And for decades, our apostles and elders and their elders have been out prophesying of these things to come, but it wasn't the time for those prophecies to be fulfilled. So people scoffed at them and didn't take it seriously. But with all this information coming out and these big moves being made in the world, we can see that these prophecies are no longer tarrying, but speaking right before our very eyes. And again, in Revelation 12, verse 12, the devil knoweth that he hath but a short time, so he's no longer tarrying and implementing his NW0. But now I'm going to close it out in Isaiah 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. The book of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, of course, being the scriptures, the Bible, the Old and the New Testament, as well as the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Old Testament. And read, no one of these shall fail. No one of these prophecies shall fail. Nothing can be done to stop this digital cashless society that's coming and this C-hip implant. None shall want her mate. There's no other book, spiritual practice, philosophy, or religion that can compare to the 100% accuracy of the scriptures. If you want to know what happened in the past, the present, and what's about to happen, read these prophecies. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. So hey, that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. As we can clearly see, these prophecies are no longer tarrying or failing. And we are one day closer to the end of this final captivity under the heathen nations, chiefly of the biblical Edomites, before, Yahushua makes his second coming to save the elect, which Abaratazah, I'm of that number, as well as you sincere Akim and Akwath, and establish the kingdom of heaven, where we'll be ruling and in peace for eternity. So as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next